أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. It's a famous story that you can find on social media that happened a few years ago. Anyone who is from France will know this story. And what happened, and it is a true story, not just the hikaya, kalam farigh, something people made up. It's a real story, and it's a true incident. There was a Muslim girl who went to the supermarket with her groceries coming up to the cashier. The lady who was the customer, she had niqab on, she had gloves on, she had a jilbab, ibaya. She was totally covered up, mastura, kama amaraha Allah azza wa jal, to cover up her mahasin, to have some izzah about herself, shiyam. The girl behind the counter was also a Muslim, a Muslima. So, as the niqabi girl was getting close, she noticed that the Muslim girl, who was an Arab from Africa, living in France, she was smiling and she was very cordial to the non-Muslims as they came to check out. There's nothing wrong with that. Customer service, and that's da'wat Allah. Mashkur Allah, mashkur Allah. That's from the deen, and that's from us being a professional. But as soon as the niqabi came up, she was looking upset. She was scowling, looking angry. Abusa, upset. The Muslim lady said to the niqabi, and the one who was working there had no hijab at all. I don't make takfir of her, but what she's doing is a kabira from the kaba'ir upon her and upon the men or the people who have a mas'uliyah over her. When the Muslim niqabi came, the Arab lady said to her, you know, we immigrants have come here to France and we have a lot of problems here. These people are racist and we have all of these issues and it's difficult. We came here to make money. We came here to get educated. We came here to escape war and famine and problems where we come from. So with all of these problems and all of these tahaddiyat, I'm telling you as an Arab that one of the problems is this niqab that you have on. It's making trouble for everybody. The Muslim girl, upon hearing that with the niqab, lifted her niqab, and lo and behold, she was a blue-eyed, white European, French girl, i'tanakat al-Islam. She was a revert. And she said to the Arab sister, this is my country, and this is my deen. You need to get yourself together. Leave this environment if this is how you're thinking. This is a famous incident. It's a haditha. And this thing has happened to many people. I don't have to go into details of the many stories like that. I'm not here to say that the one without niqab is a kafir or she's in the hellfire. Nor am I here to say that the one with niqab is in Jannah and she's the best Muslimah. I'm not saying that, but I want to draw a point from that. And that is, Allah has put on our shoulders a lot of takalif, things that you have to do. And in making these things wajib upon us, we have the ability to do it. And that's why he mentioned many ayat that give that idea, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah doesn't burden you beyond your scope. We're here making Salatul Jum'ah. There are some people who won't come to Jum'ah because he's a professor in the uni, because he's a dentist, because he's a professional. He's afraid to push the envelope. He's afraid to stand up for his rights. I want to go to Jum'ah. But we came. We have proven it's possible. We fast. We dress like this. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah to the best of your ability. Those things that we have to do, Allah has made it obligatory upon us based upon your ability. As for being scared for the sake of being afraid, then this is a problem. From what Allah has given us all a responsibility on our shoulders is to create for yourself a legacy, to leave for yourself when you die a legacy. That's from the awjab al-wajibat on everybody in this masjid. Even the youngsters who are here. I see my brother Musaddis is here. Musaddis is over here. Musaddid. This is from the awjab al-wajibat on that little brother, Yansha, in this environment. Leaving a legacy. How do you want people to think about you, to remember you? What do you want people to say about you once you die? That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. Legacy in Arabic, one of the words is irth. Irth. Another word is athar. What you leave behind in the way of your footprints. What did you leave behind? Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the issue in many ayat of the Quran. He said in the Quran, Inna nahnu nuhyi al-mawta wa naktubu ma qaddamu wa atharahum wa kulla shayin ahsaynahu fi imamin mubin. Allah is the one who will give life to you once you die. And Allah is the one who writes down your athar, your footprints walking to the masjid, your footprints walking away from the masjid, what you left behind, your khutbah, your salat, your sawm, your children. Allah is going to write that down, and you'll be remembered by this stuff. And all of it is written in the Lawh al-Mahfuz. Everybody has a responsibility to take care of your legacy. We have two types of people here, like the niqabi girl with the niqab and the Arab girl without the niqab. The Arab girl was born and raised as a Muslim in her North African country. Her lisan is Arabic, her adat and taqaleed, Arabic and Islamic, but when she came here, she found all of those things mafquda, takhallat anha. You can barely know that she's a Muslim. So she's a born and raised Muslim, like most of you. This one is from Chad, that one is from Eritrea, that one's Sudan, that one's Somalia, that one is from Cameroon and from Nigeria. So you're a born Muslim, raised a Muslim. Part of your legacy is your parents gave you Islam. They were back in your country, but now you're here. And here, there's a big challenge for you to hold on to and to maintain and to develop that legacy. And then you have the reverse. We have a few reverse here. He started his legacy from point blank. He wasn't a Muslim. He used to be in a club. She used to be a zania. He used to be a sadiq. Used to get high, drink khamr. Used to rob people. Used to make shirk and kufr. And now they became Muslims. Now you, Ibrahim, and other than you, we have to develop and create our legacy. We're the first Muslims in our family. So when we get married, we got to get married to that sister who is going to help us develop the legacy. You got to get married to the lady who's going to help you develop and maintain your legacy that you got from your mother and father, who were two Muslims. This is important. This is vital. Now, I'm going to be specific here. And I think my brothers from Sudan, they know me. I'm not making tarning you, but I want to be specific. Right here on Chapel Town Road is a nice restaurant called Mazika 555. All kinds of people come in there. Albanians who are Muslims. People from Kurdistan who are Muslims. these Kofar students from the contemporary dance school. It's a nice vibe in that place and outside that place. The people of Albania, I understand that in Albania, communism really messed them up, just like the French. When they colonized us, they really were some of the worst colonizers, like the Belgians. Terrible istimar from these people. So when Moroccans and Algerians, other than that, go to France, grow up in France, the French are some of the enemies of Islam. I understand that, but where's the legacy? When the people see you as an Albanian or from Kurdistan, Pakistan, what do they see? Up there, and this is the reason why I'm giving this khutbah. The man from Sudan came to me. He had dreadlocks like Bob Marley, dreadlocks like these people who are Rastas. And you know what he said to me? The Sudanese man said to me, Rastafari dread. Instead of saying Assalamu alaikum, he said to me, Rastafari dread. I'm not judging him, and I'm not condemning all Sudanese, but I say, yeah, what's wrong with you? Where is your legacy? We have an imam, Abu Ahmed from Sudan, Abu Abdulaziz from Yemen, Allahu Alam. But I don't think that their grandfather and grandmother, from both sides, both sheikhs and their grandfathers and grandmothers from both sides, I don't think they could read and write. I don't think, Allahu Alam. But here their grandchildren are, here in Europe, after memorizing the Quran. They're teaching the Quran in Europe, teaching our children in the madrasa. So they are from the legacy of their grandparents and their ajdad right here in the UK. What are you doing? What are you doing? Dreadlocks? Getting high in the club? Scared about your religion? You have to take care of your legacy. You have to build upon your legacy. That's the deen of Allah. We have to be like those people that Allah mentioned in the Quran. وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Those people make dua in the Quran. All of us, Shams, and you have a father, Iqbal, gave you a legacy. Oh, our Lord, give us, your Al-Wahhab, give us, bestow upon us wives and progeny, children who will be coolers of our eyes, not wives who are the ignited fire on us, taking us to court, destroying our relationship, making us unhappy. She is like an alligator, a tumsah. All she wants to do is eat from the dunya. I don't want a wife like that. I don't want a wife who's going to destroy my daughter, my son, give me a headache. Nor does she want a husband like that. And make us children who are the cool of our eyes. Oh Allah, make us for the muttaqeen imams. Make us for the people who are righteous imams. What's the meaning of imam here? Does imam mean make me someone to lead the people in prayer? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean like that at all. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا لَمَّا صَبَرُوا وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. That's the imama right there. We made them, who came after them, imams. They became imams. What's the imam? الَّذِي يُقْتَدَى بِهِ. يُهْتَدَى بِهِ. He's the one who's to be followed in good. In the society, his kids create an invention that everybody's going to benefit after him. He in the society, they're Muslims. They're going to make an institution. They're going to build it. They're going to grow it. They're going to take care of it. They're going to put life in it by Allah's permission. That's the Ummah. Not to come and we find that these Sikhs and Hindus are competing with us and sometimes surpassing us in their sacrifice for their cow and their monkey. They pass us, giving money for their cow and their monkey. Make us imams for the people who have a taqwa. That's how we're supposed to be. Whether you're a revert or you're born and raised in this religion. Now, I want to take a quick look with you people at one of the many personalities in this Quran. His story will be read and memorized and remembered until Yawmul Qiyamah. You want to know the importance of leaving a legacy? Then look who Allah has given us as an example. Ibrahim, the Khalil of Allah. Let's just take a quick look at a fraction, surface, scratch the surface of Ibrahim, the Khalil of Allah. One of the many things that happened with Ibrahim, and not just Ibrahim, his family after him, who have been mentioned in the Quran, and there are many. Ibrahim was the father of Ismail and Ishaq. Ishaq is the father of Yaqub. Yaqub is the father of Yosef, Benjamin, and the other 9 brothers. From Bani Israel comes Musa and Isa, and Maryam and Zechariah and Yahya. All of those are from the children of Ibrahim. وَهَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ. Not like some of our children. The dad gets sick. La samah Allah. His 19-year-old son won't even call him and say, Dad, how are you doing? He won't even ask. How is his father doing? The drama that some of the Muslims have with their children. His daughter, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, is on TikTok, dancing and sending TikTok videos out, showing her mahasin. Her daughter is a groupie for hip-hop artists in Toronto, in the UK. She's a groupie. If the hip-hop rapper meets her, yalla, let's go. She's right there with him in the wind. Is that his legacy? And if it is part of his legacy, what role does he play in that? Did he leave the kid? Like that lady at the cash register? We got many problems, and part of the problems is you have to be scared of your Islam. Ibrahim, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, Allah mentioned, from his dua, he mentioned in the Quran, وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. Oh Allah, Ibrahim said, make me have the lisan of truthfulness with those in the latter times. One of the meanings of this ayah, of this dua, oh Allah, make me a person who, after I'm gone, long gone, allow the people to remember me with a good tongue. He was righteous. He was strong. He was hardworking. Look at the relics and the athar of Ibrahim in Mecca. Look at that. Look at the maqam of Ibrahim, Safa and Marwa, and his son Ismail, in the role that he played. Look all of that in the middle of the desert. Look all of that. Give me the lisan that is truthful with those who come later. The Muslims, the Jews, the Christians, all 3 of those religions respect Ibrahim, especially al-Islam. The Yahud and the Nasara, they have contradictions in their respect. But for the most part, he's a positive individual. That's part of his legacy. That's how people remembered him. You're not married, Akhi? You're not married? You want to get a wife like someone who's going to help you. Like Ismail. I ain't got time to tell you the story of Ibrahim coming back in order to build up the Kaaba, and he found Ismail, his son, that he left there until he grew up. And then he saw his wife, knock, knock. The first wife opened the door. How you doing? Oh, I'm poor. Life is hard. My husband ain't nothing. He ain't got no money. We're poor. And she's just started complaining. Ibrahim said, when your husband comes back, tell him to change the threshold of his door. And he left. When Ismail came back, said, what happened today? The lady said this, that. He said, that was my father. After all those years, Ismail didn't have haqq in his heart against his father. Where my dad been? My dad divorced my mother, my wife. He didn't have that because he was a righteous man. His legacy. He said, that was my father, and he told me to divorce you. You're divorced. Go back to your family. Just like that. You're talking about birrul walidain? That's on another level. But the point I want to make is with Ismail. Ismail was told by his father, Ibrahim, oh, my son, I saw in a dream, and the dreams of the prophets is revelation. I saw in a dream that I was slaughtering you. I've been ordered to take your life, to lay you down, and to slaughter you like a kharuf. What do you think? The son said to his father, who abandoned him in the desert for many years until he grew up, only him and his mother. His son said to him, قال يا أبتي افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. Oh, my dad, my father, do what Allah commanded you to do, because that dream is revelation from Allah. Do it. You're going to find me, inshallah. You see the deen? You see the aqidah? You're going to find me, dad, inshallah. I'm from those who have sabr. Oh, boy. Now the father says to his son, hey, son, I want you to do this for me, Shams. I want you to do that for me. The father says that to the son. The son's supposed to say, okay, dad, you want me to work full-time with you at the job that you made? I'm ready. You want me to work part-time? I'm ready. You want me to work on the weekends? I'm ready. Okay, dad, you made a sacrifice. You didn't slaughter me, but you spent your hard-earned money to put me in the university. You're going to find me, inshallah, from the Sabirin. I'm not clubbing. I'm not goofing off, being a knucklehead in the uni. I'm going to do and take the most out of this opportunity from your sacrifice. That's Ibrahim. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Allah mentioned in another ayat concerning the legacy of Ibrahim and his children. What's your legacy, Abu Ukasha? What's your legacy, Akhi Amir? No. What's your legacy with your children? What is it? How are they behaving? What are they doing? Rastas? What are they doing? Atheists? What are they? Kuntum shuhada إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إله واحد ونحن له مسلمون. Were any of you there? Ya Muhammad, you're Hazir Nazir. You know the ilm al-ghayb? You everywhere? You everywhere? Ya Muhammad, were you there? Were you people there? When death came to Yaqub, the grandson of Ibrahim, when death came to him and he said to his sons, Yosef, Binyamin, and the other 9, that revelation used to come to them, as Allah mentioned in ayat of the Quran. Revelation came to the Asbat. Were you there? When he gathered all of his sons, 11 sons, and said to them, what are you going to worship after I die? They said, we're going to worship your ilah and the ilah of your fathers, Ibrahim and Ismail, our uncle. And we're going to worship the ilah of Ishaq. He's one ilah, one God, and we are Muslims. That's an example of a man having ihtimam and concern about the aqeedah of his kids. He's going to let his children know, this can be the last day of the month of Shawwal. We're about to, inshallah, go into Dhul Qa'dah. Does he know that? Does his children know the importance of the sacred months or not? Or they're just Muslims like at the cash register? I just want my money. We just came here to live. I'm just, hey, live and let live. Is that his situation? No. He has to take care of protecting and making the muhafadha, especially over the deen of his kids. One of the words that's connected to this thing about legacy, the athar, the irf, that's a legacy. There's a word in Arabic called the miraf. The miraf is from this word. The miraf is what your inheritance is, what you leave behind for your children to inherit. You got to leave them behind a legacy. Rasulullah says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لِيَنْ يَتْرُكَ أَحَدَكُمْ وَرَثَتَهُ أَغْنِيَاءَ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَنْ يَتْرُكَهُمْ أَغْنِيَاءَ يَتَكَفَّفُونَ النَّاسِ. For one of you to leave your children where they're rich and they don't have to go around asking people for money. That's better. Leave them with some money. So the man, he starts a restaurant, Mazika 555. He says, hey, son, You're not going to get rich by this, Allahu Adam, but it's from my legacy, from my own hands. I'm my own boss. I'm a carpenter. I'm this, I'm that. Listen to the point. Mirath. Did you leave your children a house that they don't have to pay riba? Because part of your legacy is you made it easier for them. Did you leave that behind? The most important thing that you can leave back for your children is the deen of Islam. Because they could be as rich as you want them to be. Without the deen, they are in trouble. They're in trouble. It's a problem. So that's Ibrahim. Let's take a look at one of the women from Ibrahim's relatives, his legacy. Maryam. Maryam came with Isa ibn Maryam. Their story will be read into Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ibrahim and his children and his relatives. Yahi, Maryam came with a baby. Courage to even bring the baby back. Many people would have aborted that baby. Many people would run away, like in the Muslim community. The boy got her pregnant. Muslim boy got her pregnant. He makes her get an abortion. She herself, an abortion. The mother and the father made her get an abortion. Maryam came back, the legacy of her great-great-grandfather, Ibrahim. I'm going to face her. I didn't do anything. I'm bari'ah. I'm free. Brought him to the community. When they saw the baby, they said, Ya ukhta Harun, ma kana abuki imra'a saw'in wa ma kanat ummuki baghiya. Hey, Maryam, your father, the sister of Harun. Harun, the brother of Musa, is not the brother of Maryam. Qat'an. They're not brothers and sisters. But the Quran called her the sister of Harun. Why? Because Harun is from the long line of righteous people from her legacy, from Ibrahim's legacy. That's not her brother, but from the people who passed in her line. Oh, sister of Harun, your father, he wasn't a bad man, and your mother was not a whore. She wasn't loose on TikTok, walking around here with tight clothes on, talking to men, showing her mahasin to non-Muslims. She meets a non-Muslim online, and she's showing him no clothes. Your mother wasn't like, why did the people of Beni Israel say that? Why? Because that's from the legacy that she came from. Yeah, sister, Sharifa, Aziza, your mother and your father in our community, they're not like that. Your father is in the first row. Your mother is wearing hijab and jilbab. What are you doing? What are you doing? So Beni Israel, they use that as a hujjah against Maryam. You have come with a baby out of wedlock? That goes to show to the women today, our daughters today, yes, your mother was in the club in Jahiliyyah. She gave that up for Islam. Your father was robbing people. He was in prison in Jahiliyyah. They gave that up for Islam. Now it's a new day. They got married to your mother and they called you Aziza, Sharifa, Maymuna, Aisha, Khadija. And you're on TikTok, sister. You're a groupie. Brothers, what's your legacy? What's your legacy going to be? Are you going to be one of those Muslims who just walk around and say, I'm a Muslim. Let me just pay for my food and get out of here. Let me just eat and sleep like the worshipers of cows and monkeys and statues and just let me sit. Or part of your legacy is going to be, you're going to be a Muslim who knows what you're doing. You're going to be a Muslim who's going to leave back and behind the athar of your mu'taqid, like this institution. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى الثبات والتوفيق. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Brothers in Islam, we're going to leave this masjid. And after the khutbah al-Jum'ah, very quickly, the message today will leave your mind. Because that's just the nature of how it is. The adaw of a shaitan. He makes us forget. Okay, you forget. We're insan and insan yansa. We understand. But you take this away from you. You take this away from here. And take it from me. The Prophet said that Allah Ta'ala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna Allah yuhibbu ma'ali al-umur wa yakrahu safsafaha. Allah loves it when you busy yourself with those big exalted things, like getting your own business and working for your own self. I came from America, and where I gave the khutbah last Friday in Brooklyn, New York at Masjid al-Taqwa, the people came and picked me up in a police car that belonged to the Muslims in the masjid. It is a proper police car, but it's owned by the Muslims. Has a siren. The guy inside of this car is strapped with a hammer. He got a tool with him, all with the knowledge of the government, because those brothers are responsible for protecting that rough area in Brooklyn, New York. When the brother picked me up, I took a picture of the police car. It had Muslim Community Police, MCP, a proper police car. And when we were driving to New York, when there was traffic, he put the siren on and put a noise on. They let us through. That just didn't happen out of a vacuum. That happened because in Brooklyn, New York, those people put their feet in the mud and they say, here we are. And the same program on Saturday when I was there, giving a program, the mayor of New York came to the program. And you know what the mayor of New York said to the crowd? When he got up there to talk, he said to the Muslims, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. He's African American. He didn't say like some African Americans who are not Muslims, when they want to greet you as a Muslim, they say, Salam alaikum, Salam alaikum. That's how they say it. The mayor of New York said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What's the shahid min al-kalam? The point of that is, that's part of their legacy. No African-American Muslims like that apologizing after all the dirt we've been made to eat, after all of this stuff that we've gone through. You think we're going to be Muslims now and be apologetic? No. Are we perfect? No. But I'm saying to you so-called immigrants, second and third generation, we're no second-class citizens. Ain't no second-class citizens. But does that mean we walk around rough and tough and loud? No. That means that we got to get into this society where we fit in, and we got to make it do what it has to do. Professors who are Muslims, architects who are Muslims, and if we're going to have Muslims who are politicians, let them be non-apologetic. Non-apologetic. We don't play that LGBT stuff. I don't support that as a politician. May Allah Ta'ala establish us firmly upon the Kitab and the Sunnah, and make us of those people who are truthful in word and deed, and give us courage to be men, and to give us courage to leave a legacy for ourselves, and those of us who were born and raised as Muslims, to bring us back to our rush, to once again start working on the legacy that your ajdad left for you people. As for the reverse, we got to get a lot of knowledge. We got to get more knowledge. We got to make a lot of dua. People in this masjid from Mexico, a Mexican Muslim, young boys, Mexico. What it look like, that little boy coming up to you talking about, I want to be like Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar. I want to be like Beanie Man and Bob Marley. Beanie Man, Bob Marley. Nah, man. I want to be like my dad, who accepted Islam and told everybody, all of y'all can go to hell. We're going to try to be on La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. May Allah make it happen, inshallah. Qim as-salat, yarhamakumullah.
Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون